We are sitting down today with Annonymal and Jed Powers and myself, Lauren Hoddle, the Reading Bitcoin Center in the house, and representing a amazing metal band, Mr. Annonymal. Jed's got a lot of questions for you, I know that, but I'm super curious about as much as you want to say about yourself, your band, and all that jazz. I'll just give you the floor to do your own introduction. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great for me. It's a great pleasure to be with you guys. It's always so nice to talk about Bitcoin and heavy music, two of my biggest passions in life. And there is a lot of story to tell of how we came to this concept of a heavy metal band that talks about Bitcoin only. It's the main focus of our message. It's the only focus that we wanted to give to people to really get to know Bitcoin, get to use Bitcoin, get to celebrate Bitcoin through our music. And it's been a very interesting journey on our side. Anonymal is alive for a bit more than 1 year. The concept, we are creating the songs, we are going to the studio, we are composing the album and everything. But now we get to the point that we want to go to the studio to record the final version of the album. We only released one song up to now to the public. It's called As Government Dies. That gives the tone where our message is. We really want to sing about this kind of anti-government, anti-establishment side of Bitcoin as something that opposes the governments and the central banks. And these are the true enemies that we see as human society faces. So this is the main concept behind it. And for sure, along the talk, we can clarify how we came to this concept and what we are aiming to do with that.
I love it. I was actually thinking of a similar thing today too, how um it's almost like we've reverted back where we're not allowed to think for ourselves. We're not allowed to question things. And now we are ruled kind of like back in the day when, the religious institutions dictated every part of life because they were the only ones that could read the scriptures, and then they would just say, nope, you can't think that, you have to think this. And we're kind of heading that way again, where it's like science came around so that we could question things. And now the word science, the whole definition of it has even changed. It's like, nope, you can't think that. That's not right. Or we should be questioning everything. And now, with these centralized entities that you mentioned and that you guys sing and play in defiance of, that are ruling us with an iron fist and saying like, nope, you can't think that. And it's our value. And I think you're nailing it straight on when you're saying, nope, these are the institutions that we need to unite against. We don't want to be divided about race or about sex or all this insanity. We don't need this FUD in our lives, no fear, uncertainty, doubt. We need to unite together and really focus on the true reasons that humanity is being divided and eroded. And that is what you just mentioned right there.
Yes, for sure. The whole problem that we face as society is the scarcity of the resources, for sure. So scarcity is the main concept, and we must fight for what we need for life, not only what we want.
For sure.
And some people get what they want, and some people don't get what they need. And this creates high tensions in society as a whole. And most of the people try to think, because they are educated like this, that the governments are the good guys that will help us through these problems with the scarcity of the resources and everything. And they don't know that the governments and the central banks and everything are the main responsibles for inequalities and so many pain and violence and threats and bad things happening in the world. Of course, we don't put all the evil in the counts of the governments and the central authorities, but they unfortunately they create much more evil than it would be in nature by itself. So we see that we must fight governments and central institutions like central banks, but it's not an easy message to spread to the world. Heavy metal is very used to these discussions, and heavy metal as a whole, they target the religion as an enemy because they want to be free of this religious stuff and everything. So you have so many death metal bands, black metal bands that sings against Christianity and religion and everything. And for me, it's okay. But Anonymal is, in this sense, a different heavy metal band because we don't aim at religion. We aim at the central authority in the central banks and the governments. And with this, we want to bring people to the more real issues than that of this kind of discussions of religions that has its place in society for sure. If God exists or not, if the devil exists, if one or the other must be worshipped or not. These are legit discussions, but we as a band, Annonymal, we want to bring people to the more daily basis, economical things that they can really see their enemy as governments and central banks and not so much religious institutions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you bring up a good point that I try to teach my kids and tell them that, look, when I was younger, I thought the government, I thought the police, I thought everybody was good. And it actually took Bitcoin for me to change and to see what was real and what was an illusion.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin is what changed it for me and started me thinking about, they're telling us this, but what is real? Who really cares about you? Not the government. So you just,
Sure.
sorry to interrupt, but you struck a chord with me right there. And that's something I've been trying to teach my kids. And I even teach them, look, some of the things that I'm telling you now, you may find in your life that's not correct, but that's your job, is to question everything. Question things I'm telling you, and definitely question everything that somebody has power over you, what they're telling you.
I also like, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, that is perfect because once you teach your children to question the power structure, of course, you are involved in this.
Correct.
Because you are the government figure in your house.
Yep.
And of course, children must know that it's not something so simple. All governments are bad and no government is good. It's not that simple. But governments use their authority and most of all, the monopoly of violence to really enforce agendas and ideas, and most of all, a corrupt money to enslave society through taxes and through inflation.
Yep.
This is the main concept in here. So because of this, we have a very unequal fight between us and the government. So the government has everything, and we have close to nothing if we don't serve the government. And this is enslavement, and this is what we fight against.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I am a huge advocate of everything that you've just said. And I think it's amazing what you guys are doing, because we need that message to just get shouted out everywhere, in country music, from pulpits, from everywhere, because this is the way that we can answer some of these other questions. Right now, it's hard to even see humanity the way it's going to even succeed. Like, we're not going to become interplanetary or figure out if this is a creation or a simulation, because we're going to destroy ourselves, and we're going to do it because of the things you're saying. Like, unfortunately, not just on a governmental basis or a country basis, there's countries that are taking advantage of other countries. Like the United States has taken advantage of South American countries by mostly by the easy access to the printer, is really what it boils down to lately. French, the country of France has really taken advantage of a ton of African countries, and really we're at a place in history where modern technology, all the innovations that we've had in agriculture and farming and all these different ranching, we could all have so much more if there weren't greed and manipulation and selfishness and these centralized institutions that are basically treating other countries and other people as slaves. We're trending more toward feudalism, and instead of empowering people. Like, we're at a place in society where instead of just not having what we need and what we want across the globe, we should actually be to a point where we can actually be working less and spending more time with our friends and families and pursuing things that we love to do, like music and art and other things, because of technology and innovation and all these things. But instead, we're 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 brainwashed into fighting each other. And I think that's one of the things you're hitting really hard, is you have a narrative and this is it. It's this, and we're not going to change it. We're not going to sing about, forget Christianity and forget this. We're going to keep this our message right here, and that's super important. And if we each just make our message simple and shout that message from whatever soapbox we have, in your case, heavy metal, then and connect these things. Like, we're all connecting. You're not, even though heavy metal isn't my forte, it's not my go-to. I mean, we'll talk about different metal bands hopefully in a bit, but I love it, man. You're my brother, because we need to unite. We need to unite in every which way. I don't care what your beliefs are and on Christianity, or if you're an atheist or whatever else. This is much different and probably much bigger than that, because we'll never even be able to have that dialogue unless we find peace at this fundamental level, which is having our values stolen by the big violator that I see is the Federal Reserve of the United States. It's probably the biggest of all the violators, even though there's a long list of them, but it's probably number one on the list, So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now and let you guys go.
Yeah, perfect. I totally agree with you. And one thing that Annonymal is trying to do is to represent Bitcoin in heavy metal, but not with the sense that we are the owners of the Bitcoin message. We are just representatives of the Bitcoin message. So what you said is very important. We want projects like Annonymal and country music and pop music, and even in metal, other bands. We can start not only one band, but a movement. And the most important thing for us is to create a use case for Bitcoin, because we don't want to only sing about Bitcoin. In the next steps of the project, we are going to have the merch, we are going to have the tours, we are going to have the shows, we are going to have a lot to people to buy and everything is going to be bought through Bitcoin. If someone doesn't know how to download a wallet, back up a wallet, or everything, we are going to teach them. And if we engage with fiat money, we are not going to do this without giving some cash back in Bitcoin. So everyone that's into our influence sphere is going to have to learn to deal with Bitcoin, because this is what we want. Not only talk about, oh, how great is Bitcoin, of course, but here it is on your cell phone. Here it is your keys. I cannot do anything with your keys. If you hold this long enough, you can be a millionaire. And even if you don't, you can have sovereignty. No one can freeze your account and everything. So this is the kind of thing that we want to do. Not only speak about Bitcoin, but create real usage.
Love it. Yeah. What is your favorite use case about Bitcoin? I know up here in the US, wherever you are in outer space, I don't know, but for me, just watching this whole system just flaking away. I know in other parts of the world, people that are unbanked, it's like that's the number one priority. What are your big reasons to love Bitcoin? What are the use cases you see as the most important?
Well, it all gets back to my story when I got into the rabbit hole. And I was searching for more knowledge about economics in general. Okay, I was studying a bit the differences between political right wing and left wing, why we have this discussion, why people say that the left wing guys, they don't know anything about economy. I didn't understand anything of that. So it was in 2016 that I got to learn. Well, I'm going to learn because nobody's going to teach me. So I went to the internet, I subscribed to many channels about economics in general, started to learn about interest rates, how the Fed works, how the money printer goes and everything. And then I got to this video of a blonde girl talking about Bitcoin. It was a 10 minutes video and it totally blew my mind. And for me, the most important case for Bitcoin is to really change the understanding of people about money.
Yeah.
Because I have this sensation that before Bitcoin, I didn't know what money is.
Yep.
I think that's all of us.
Yeah, and this is the money is just this paper or this number in the account that I have limits of that, and I cannot do what I want.
Yep.
This is it. And after Bitcoin, we totally uncovered this power structure, this inequality among the one that has the printer to print money and the friends of the king with the other persons. How inflation is more than taxes because they already charge us the taxes and they give us plus the inflation to steal even more from us. And this is very enlightening. It gives us a sensation that now we know what they are doing and now we can fight back. This is for me the biggest case for Bitcoin is not, sending money abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like having my own wallet that cannot be confiscated. Okay, this is all great.
Right.
But the main thing is have a tool to fight against the ones that steal from us.
Yeah. I love it. What do you think about that, Jed? I mean, I totally agree.
Yeah, I agree. And then like we've always talked about, everybody's reason for using Bitcoin is different, right? Here in the US, it might be different than somebody who's in a third world country or somebody trying to send remittances. My deal is it's a store of value where I can put my hard-earned value and pass it on securely to my children without anybody having any hands in it. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it is for me.
Yeah, no, there's so many. Somebody was trying to count use case scenarios of Bitcoin, and they were up in the 20s the other day on some podcast I was listening to. But I mean, there's so many that just pull at my heartstrings too. Like just talking about revolution, revolution for humanity in general, for the future. I mean, that's huge. That's got to be up there. I mean, when you think about everybody on planet Earth that is unbanked, and then the ability for them to actually have access to a financial system, like you would have to be a really callous, cold-hearted person to not really put that up there as a one of the big use cases. I mean, there's just so many. And when I think about all of the good that can come out of Bitcoin, like I flip-flop on my own because sometimes it's selfish, like, oh, I got to protect my own ass here. And in actuality, this could be something for humanity, for the future, for
well, I think people are starting to wake up.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Kanye with being, his bank accounts and stuff being dropped by JP Morgan.
Yeah.
I mean, if it can happen to somebody that has billions of dollars, it can happen to somebody who has nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So we all need to prepare, understand what's happening. And that's the biggest thing is learn what's happening to our money, learn about Bitcoin, learn about the traditional system, and you'll wake up. At least that's what woke me up. Like we talk, everybody's first thing with Bitcoin was about money. Now it's about something completely different. It's about, hey, it's not about money anymore. It's about securing my future and my children's future.
Yeah, and on my case, Bitcoin returned to me one of my dreams that was heavy metal.
Nice.
Because I stopped playing heavy metal some years ago, and then I learned about Bitcoin, and it was a process of some years. And then I started to think, hey, man, I think that Bitcoin message has so much to do with heavy metal. This is a connection that not everybody does, because not everybody likes heavy metal. It's okay, no problem. But I see in heavy metal this rawness. I see in heavy metal this aggressiveness. I see the rebellion side of things, this dark feelings and atmospheres that deal with the negative side of society as a whole.
For sure.
And heavy metal creates a perfect atmosphere to put in these things in perspective.
Yeah.
So it gave me my dream back. So now I'm able to really make a heavy metal band with purpose, with a strong content, because This is what I think is lacking in heavy metal nowadays. We have many bands more or less talking the same thing about
Hmm.
depression, anti-religious thing and
Yeah.
everything. But nobody's looking at the real issues. And the
Yeah.
guys that look at the real issues, they have these connections with this ESG agenda, that, well, we must fight for the forest. Okay,
Yep.
man, no problem for you to fight for the forest, okay? But it's not, they are hijacked by the government
Yep.
structures and the structures. And I want with Annonymal bring rebellion back to heavy metal.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, heavy metal's
Absolutely.
like a fuck you to the man, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the best thing we can teach our kids. That's why I tell them to question everything I say as well.
Yeah.
Rebel against me in a way, and just
Yeah.
test what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We all should do that. And hey, heavy metal is always like a rebellion form of music, right? Which is awesome.
So we're
Yeah.
talking heavy metal. What about some of your influences or maybe favorite heavy metal bands from, your past?
Well, Annonymal has very clear influences. The biggest of all, for sure, is Metallica, Megadeth,
Ah.
Slayer, Death, and this kind of thing. So it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
thrash,
So
death
all the
metal.
best alongside
Yeah, I was
Anonymal,
gonna say, I guess
obviously.
maybe maybe I didn't realize that I do like it. I
For sure, there is this British side of things with Judas Priest, with
Oh,
Iron
okay.
Maiden,
Yep.
so many great stuff in there.
Yeah.
So we have this heavy metal and thrash death metal as our
Ah.
core. But of course, we always love Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin. We
Hmm.
always love newer stuff like Tool, like Korn, or this kind of thing. We love electronic music. There will be a lot of influences in there in Anonymal,
Hmm.
as you will see in the future. So we are open to every type of music, but mainly these are our main influences.
Oh, good. Because
Nice.
I was thinking, I mean, that sounds a lot better to me. Like that sounds, because I didn't listen. I know Jed had a chance to listen to some of your music and it sounds like you were pretty impressed. But I was thinking it would be. I went to a Misfits concert in Chicago one time, and I was just, my eyes were this big, and I was just like, I hope I make it out of here alive. But it wasn't my cup of tea, but I had a good time, and I like, most kinds of music. But like I said, I love this whole concept. I love everything you're doing. I love the message. I love that you're not, trying to say, F you to, the Christians, or you're trying to buy into the, we're gonna protect Mother Earth, or like that. It seems like a lot of music nowadays is just trying to, it's like the internet and news channels where they're just trying to say whatever and do whatever just to get clicks, just to get hits, and that's a bunch of bullshit. It's like, be you and do you. And to me, Bitcoin, we share the connection that we really believe that this will be a revolution for humanity, and that's where I feel like, we are brothers, we're connected, because I share that same message, and
Yeah.
so I'm excited
Absolutely.
to listen. So I want to
Yeah,
get maybe a
absolutely.
piece on, and then play some clips, and then definitely have you let our listeners know where they can sample some music and buy merch and whatnot. So we definitely want to throw a plug or two in there. So do you guys have a website or anything?
Yeah, we have a website, anonymal.com, but it's not online yet.
Okay.
For you to know, Anonymal is in a very early stage at this point. And we are very small at this point, but we have a strong vision for the future. The next steps, the first one is to record our full album. Why we want to record a full album? This is a little out of date these days. Most of the bands released only singles because nobody listened to whole records anymore. This is more or less the justification. But Anonymal is planning to release a full album. Why? Because our main focus are not on the music side of things this moment. In this moment, what we want is to show Bitcoin community that we can have a lot of good songs, of great songs with the things that Bitcoiners love. The first songs of the album is Horns Up for Satoshi.
Nice.
We don't care if you like heavy metal or not. You
Yeah.
must like this.
Yeah. We'll have to get you guys to come and play some Bitcoin conferences and stuff. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be neat.
Sure.
Hey, do you want to go ahead and plug the website that you have your one song on right now? And you also have like a little small donation site on that page. Why don't you put that out so people can donate?
Yeah, for sure. We have up to this point a Geyser project. Geyser is a platform that is making a crowd fund using Bitcoin. I will send to you. And
That's where I was earlier, was on Geyser.
yeah, I sent you a Twitter that you can put it there if you want.
Oh, sweet.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is there in this page. You can listen to a podcast explaining the whole project, and there is a link to a YouTube video with the first song that we released that is called As Government Dies.
Nice.
So the idea is to release this first album and then to work on the website. What we're going to have in the website: articles that can talk about Bitcoin and heavy metal. We are even going to publicize some of these articles in connection with other newsletter stores or this kind of thing. Citadel 21 is going to release a text about us.
Love it.
And of course, with time, we're going to get more. And the idea is to make tutorials for people using our songs and texts, helping them to download a wallet, to run a full node, to see how these things work in the background, for people to use and to love Bitcoin. And then we are going to add a shop in the website with the merch, with custom guitars, custom t-shirts, and so many more things.
Love it.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Annonymal has great vision, but of course it takes a bit of time and
Yeah.
resources to try to move forward as fast as we can.
yeah, it takes a bit to get it all to come together.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And
It's
even
great.
with the resources part of thing, because unfortunately we didn't buy Bitcoin in 2012. But the main focus of Annonymal, it's not something that we want to get as much Bitcoin as we can. We want to get people to use Bitcoin as much as they can. This is the real thing.
That's great.
Yeah, and spread the knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Spread the knowledge of what Bitcoin is.
Yeah,
Love it.
and with time, of course, we are going to meet in conferences, play with them, make tours, make shows, videos, but we have to give a step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Build now, you'll get the rewards later.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. Well, I definitely want to go check out those links that you sent over, and hopefully, Jed, you'll put some music into the when you do the edit too, so that everybody can get a little sneak peek and a preview of the music. What were your thoughts on it, Jed? Did you enjoy it?
I thought it was great.
Oh,
Like I
nice.
said, I was listening with my kids on the way into the office, and
Sweet.
yeah, they liked it because I used to, at the very beginning of the pandemic, I used to take my boys motorcycle riding, and as soon as we'd get in the truck, I'd put in Ride the Lightning from Metallica, and we'd listen to that all the way to riding and be all juiced up and ready to get out there. So I love this. And
Yeah.
you know what, like we were talking earlier, you guys were saying that, there's everybody's in this, right? It could be rock music, it could be Kanye, it could be Bitcoin is the most inclusive thing that I've found in my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have people from different religions and they're sitting there talking Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Because it is the truth.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
what is real.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'm
mathematical.
really inspired by what you're doing, Annonymal.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, for me, it's a great pleasure to reach out to you guys and to see that we can show you something that resonates with your feelings, with your experience, and helping us to spread Satoshi's message. It's a great honor.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Jed, what wasn't there other, is there other Bitcoin bands in any genre out there or
There's
do you,
everything that you
oh, is
want.
there?
There's country music. There's country music
There's
ones.
Bitcoin country?
There's
Huh,
rap music.
really?
So yeah, one I think he's in Tennessee. It might be Nashville. He goes by Bitcoins and Gravy.
Huh.
It's a song about he's got a bunch of them, but there's one Satoshi Nakamoto.
Oh, really?
Um, there's YT Cracker who does rap, Bitcoin raps.
Huh,
There's Bitcoin Girl. I don't know if you guys know who Naomi Brockwell is. She used to be a journalist working for
Yeah.
who'd she used to work for? I don't know, one of the big journalists, but now she's
really?
100% Bitcoin. She does podcasts. She has a couple of music videos.
Huh.
So there's quite a
Wow.
bit out
Oh, this,
there, which is nice.
I love it. Yeah, I had no idea. I think I've heard a few little spoof songs and stuff maybe on Twitter, but I haven't heard any. Oh, you played some stuff at the, you had
So
some
I
stuff.
have some spoof
Yeah.
stuff and I have some original stuff, kind of like
Oh,
what
okay.
Nominal is doing right now,
Yeah.
creating their own stuff. There's
Yeah.
some of that, and then there are some spoof ones, yeah. It's just it's a plethora out there. It's
Oh man,
all of
this
it.
is so exciting because to me, this is just one more avenue and one more area that Bitcoin is just, when we're connecting these neurons and connecting people throughout the world, and we're doing it any means we can through music, through just like this, just talking and
Hmm.
connecting and meeting up and shaking each other's hands and sharing ideas and all of this stuff just helps build this human network. We're not being divided by all of this, like fears and, like race and sex and all the things that, or drive us apart that are used by governments and,
Hmm.
central banks and other things to cause division. But when we unite together as a people, that's where we're our strongest throughout the world. And so I love this whole message. I love that Bitcoin message gets into every avenue of society and every walk of life. I love it. So
It's a magnet. It's the
yeah.
magnet that's going to draw everybody together, right?
Interesting because you have these dates in Bitcoin history that we can explore to teach people. Oh, the bits a day. Oh, there is January the 3rd, where
Oh
Satoshi
yeah.
released
Hmm.
the network. You have 31 October, the day that white paper came out. And we wanted to keep this date alive.
Oh, I love it.
Why we released the first song in this date.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. That I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Jed, do you have any more questions?
I think he pretty much voluntarily answered all of
I
them.
know
I
I
was
was,
just,
yeah.
how did you decide to merge your music and Bitcoin? How did that come together? Was it just a pure, hey, Bitcoin is rebellion, Bitcoin is truth, heavy metal music is rebellion, it's questioning? How did that all come together?
Well, I started to see that there was a lot of cover songs in Bitcoin versions. This is one of the main starting points for me. And then I decided to create one of the versions of this kind of songs with some friends, just to see how it was. Oh, we took a Motorhead song, a Iron Maiden song, and we create versions that are not publicly available. And then I thought, well, man, I think we can give a step further, not to embrace just this meme style of cover songs, but we can really create a full project because Anonymal, it will start like a heavy metal band, but we aim at higher spaces in cultural terms. We want to release a series in TV or a movie or even an opera. We wanted to write some kind of manga style with stories and everything, with literature. We want Anonymal to grow bigger than just a heavy metal band. We want to have a full movement that it will include fashion, it will include instruments, musical instruments, it will include a cultural movement along what we are going to do. Of course, it all depends on how much success are we going to get with the first steps that we're going to give. If it goes faster, we are going to move faster. If not, we are going to move slowly. But the idea is to really represent all these narratives that we're talking about here: oppression, money, opportunities, business, children, family, religion, music, and blending everything with Bitcoin and this heavy metal story of this anti-government protesting kind of music to really make people wake up, to really fight the demons of centralization and everything.
That sounds great. That sounds ambitious, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Anonymal is very ambitious, but of course, it all depends on the quality of the connections we are going to be able to build in these first steps. So anyone that is listening to us that wants to connect us and be part of it in any way, you can connect through Twitter or through our email or through the website, and it would be a pleasure to talk to any one of you.
Great. Awesome. Cool.
Well, I think I had a big list, but like you said, Jed, he did a great job of just going through, and I was like, oh, scratch that one off. Oh, scratch that one off. And so I really think that I'm totally on board with what you are doing, and really love it, and look forward to keeping an eye on you guys and seeing where this goes. Now I'm super curious, and I'm gonna go ahead and listen to some music and then get this bad boy edited up, and Jed's gonna throw the music on there so we can call it.
So when can we expect some more songs?
Yeah.
We are making the crowdfunding to release the full album. So it's not being easy. We already get 9% of the value that we need to record the whole record. So it depends a bit on how much time we are going to get the rest of the money that we need. Unfortunately, recording professionally is a bit expensive. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes some time. I think we are going to get at least 3 to 4 weeks to record everything. And then there is mastering and mixing everything. It's quite of a job. But I think that in January of the next year, we are going to have the full album released. But as soon as possible, of course, we are going to try to make it as soon as possible for you to have a full album. I think it will be 12 songs that will be worth listening to.
Nice.
So you're you do have a crowdfunding site then? Is that all? Can we find that all on the, would you call it, Jed, the Geyser?
That's Geyser. Yeah, that's on his Geyser.
Yeah, it's in Geyser.
Okay, perfect.
That I sent. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll definitely be sure and get that posted on there as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, well, a real pleasure talking to you. I love it, and hopefully we can touch base again at some point, maybe in several months, and see what the progress is. Maybe I'm sure Jed will.
Absolutely,
since he loves loves your music, that he'll keep an eye on you guys and let me know when your new album comes out and stuff. So
definitely.
Yeah. All right. Annonymal.
Cool.
It's been a pleasure. Hey, what's your you want to tell everybody your Twitter handle too, so they can reach out?
Yeah, Twitter is anonymal_BTC. You can find us there, and it's a pleasure for me to talk to you guys. You can count on us for any chat, not only about heavy metal, but Bitcoin in general.
Love it.
And you guys are very, very smart at what you're doing, because talking to people about Bitcoin is the greatest thing that we can do, for sure.
I agree. 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All
Cool.
right, man.
Well, it was great
It's been a
talking to you.
pleasure.
Thanks for
Yeah.
posting this or putting this up, Lauren. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys. All right. Take care.